So let's get back.
The NFL playoffs are getting kicked up.
Sticking in football, going to the NFL. And the big story on Thursday, I don't know how big it is, but that Mike McDaniel got fired, right? Even though a lot of us could kind of see it coming, the way the season ended, you know, the dysfunction with the team, everybody was missing meetings, falling asleep, showing up late, and he never did anything about it. Tua was talking about a lack of leadership. Then he gets benched. So to see Mike McDaniel getting fired wasn't that much of a shocker. In fact, Jay Glazer, Fox Sports NFL insider, had a whole bit on Sunday before Black Monday talking about which coaches were on the hot seat and could get their walking papers relatively quickly. Here's who he had on his graphic on coaches to keep an eye on. He said, time will tell. John Harbaugh, fired. Jonathan Gannon, fired. Raheem Morris, fired. Mike McDaniel, fired. Todd Bowles, apparently he's going to stay. Right? So those are the guys.
And he could have been fired because they had a bad finish.
Sure. So, but those are teams that missed the playoffs, and so it would make sense why those guys would go. He had 3 other names on that list, though, of teams that are currently in the playoffs as of right now. Mike Tomlin, Sean McDermott in Buffalo, Matt LaFleur with the Packers. So, Rob, I ask you this. Of those guys, could we say Todd Bowles is off the table, he's going to stay?
Yeah,
3 other names left.
Yeah, I just don't see that Todd Bowles might be in
3 names left, and they're all in the postseason.
Okay.
Tomlin, LaFleur, McDermott. Who's the next coach to get fired?
It would be easy to say Mike Tomlin, but they just won the division, which I don't think anybody thought, right, coming into the season. He was the one who had the love affair with Aaron Rodgers. It could have been a disaster, Rob G. Instead, Aaron Rodgers went 10-5 in his 15 starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's hard to look at Mike Tomlin. And the last piece is that they just don't fire coaches, Rob G. They just don't.
Right.
Had 3 coaches in the last 60 years or 58, 55 years, whatever it is.
They believe in job security in Pittsburgh.
It's a family-owned business.
I need a job there.
It's not a corporation. You know what I mean? So
you wouldn't have 28 jobs, Rob, if you got hired.
I would have one job. I'd be
job.
there. That's right. But Sean McDermott is the guy, to me, who I think is in jeopardy. Because if you look at the AFC, no Mahomes, no Lamar. You got the defending MVP. If you're not going to get there this year, Rob G., when are you going to get there? And that's why I think it's a hard sell to continue to go with Sean McDermott. He's been there. How many years we got now with Sean McDermott?
A lot. He's been through several coordinators.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's been there. You can't keep doing the same thing and be expecting different outcomes. And you would look and go, the path is clear. I left out Joe Burrow, right? No Joe Burrow, no Mahomes, no Lamar. It's a clean slate in the AFC.
Yep.
Why not Buffalo? They've been waiting to try to win a championship since Moby Dick was a guppy.
I was going to say the Louisiana Purchase.
All right, one of the two.
Okay.
But you get my point.
Yep.
So I'm going to say it's Sean McDermott. Where are you?
That's not a bad guess for all the reasons you stated, because if not now, then when? Like, the landscape has never been more wide open for Buffalo than it is this season. And this is not even the best team of that run, right? Like, sometimes it works out that way. You know that, covering sports, since the Louisiana Purchase.
There you go.
That
was an escrow.
Right. That the best team or your best team isn't always the one that breaks through. Sometimes your best team has a heartbreaker in the championship semifinal, right? Or you lose in game 7 in a heartbreak, and then you come back the next year, and even though your team might not be better than it was a year before, key injury there.
You still might want
the playoff shakes out a certain way. You make a run. Aaron Rodgers' best teams never won the Super Bowl.
They were 15-1 one year.
Nope.
The
14-2, yeah.
And the year that they won, they were 6th seed.
Yeah. Wild card, right? So this could be that year, you would think, for Buffalo. And if it doesn't, I could see him getting fired. But the guy that I think is most likely to get the axe at the end of this run here in February is Matt LaFleur in Green Bay.
Okay. And the reason that makes sense, and I want you to explain more, but the reason it makes sense is he's looking for a contract extension, and they didn't give him one before the season started, correct?
Exactly. And depending on who you follow, whatever insider that you like, the reason why his current contract is set to end at the end of 2026 and why they have not given him an extension yet is because they want to see how he does in the postseason. Because, as we just alluded to, Aaron Rodgers had some great teams with Matt LaFleur, won a couple of MVPs with Matt LaFleur, and somehow, some way, kept finding ways to blow games. Tom Brady threw 3 second-half interceptions in the NFC Championship game, and the Packers still could not win at home against Tampa.
And if you really think about it, and when they do the doc on Aaron Rodgers, them kicking a field goal rather than going for that touchdown, and Matt LaFleur, that was his call, was the dumbest thing I ever saw. I thought that was I just couldn't believe it.
1,000%.
I still would rather him throwing in completion, whatever, the play didn't work. And then they're at the 1 yard line and have to go the other way, right? It doesn't make any Rob G. It doesn't make any sense. You want to get the ball back? Let them start at the 1 yard line, right? Because you're and then they got to try to get out of that. You could throw a pick. You could have a fumble in the end zone. There's so many things that could happen. Why would you not do that?
Absolutely. And then flash forward another couple of years, the Packers are the 1 seed again, right? I believe they host the Niners. And you'll recall that game. The Packers could not move the ball at all in that game.
And if you remember, tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think the 40 who was Garoppolo? I want to say Garoppolo didn't have a touchdown.
No, 2022 NFC Divisional Round 13-10.
But Garoppolo, did he have a touchdown?
No.
He did, but that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They lost the game at 13-10. Garoppolo didn't even throw a touchdown.
Yeah, and again, you could argue that was the best team of the Rodgers-LaFleur era, right? Now these last 3 years, I know you got a new quarterback, and it's Jordan Love, and, to be determined on what his long-term outlook is. If the NFL had not expanded their playoff to 7 games,
they wouldn't be in.
They would not have been in 23, 24, 25.
Wow. I didn't know they were. I didn't even realize.
3 straight seasons, they have been the 7 seed.
I didn't even realize
with
that.
all of that young talent, with the rabid fan base there in Green Bay, you have what many believe is a great coach and an up-and-coming quarterback.
Rob G., you're a football fan. I'm going to say this to you, for real.
Yep.
You need to go to Green Bay when the Raiders play there for one time. I'm dead serious.
Why?
Like just for the experience of what that's like.
Is it like a college town where everything shuts down and everyone's at the game?
Yeah, because there's not much else around there, and they don't have seats. They have bleachers. So,
it's old school.
It's old school.
Okay.
And it's cold there.
I believe that. I've been to a game at it's not Mile High anymore, but I've been to a game.
In Denver?
I was freezing.
You better dress for that.
It was terrible. Yeah. And just to wrap it up real quick on the floor, there's limping into the playoff or backing in the way Carolina did. Like they lose their last game and then they ultimately get in still. And there is just falling ass backwards in the way Green Bay has. They have lost their last 4 games coming into this postseason. Lost to the Broncos, lost to the Bears, blown out by the Ravens, and a backup quarterback, and then they play nobody in the Vikings in Week 18. They get in anyways. So if Matt LaFleur doesn't get it done, which I'm like you, I don't think he's going to. I think the Bears, as much as it pains me to say, are going to win that game.
I think they will win that game.
I could see him getting
because they're getting their receivers back too, right?
Rome Odunze is supposed to be back. DJ Moore, we'll see. Luther Burden, we'll see. But when you play a team 3 times, it usually comes down to coaching. And I think Ben Johnson has shown, even in this short amount of time, that he's a better coach than Matt LaFleur.
All right, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369.
And we want to hear from you. Which of these current coaches in the NFL playoffs, Mike Tomlin, Sean McDermott, Matt LaFleur, is most likely to get fired here during this cycle?